Hey guys, it's your girl Me-Anie here. Really quick, another video for you. This video is actually it's going to be a response to an email I received. I've been long overdue in the area of talking about The Secret and getting back on track. I'm always saying I'm going to get back on track because honestly I have fell off since I discovered the book, read it, and started practicing the teachings of The Secret. And it's worked for me in the past, and it's just crazy that me having this proof, knowing that it works, and I have not yet gotten back onto The Secret. But the email I received was from, I think this is how I can say the name, is Osimian00. Osimian sent me an email saying, initially when they saw the video that I put out about The Secret, they were skeptical, did the research on the book, didn't like what was being said, and decided to just skip over the book. And recently they learned that, the teachings of The Secret isn't that far out, and it has a lot to do with the teachings of the Bible and the power of the tongue, which is very true. Now, in this book, they don't reference the Bible, and not to take away from the Bible at all, because I'm a firm believer in, there is a God. A lot of people believe in different gods, but one thing that this book does not do, they don't pinpoint one certain God, because there are many different beliefs out there, and some people would not read a book just because it has one religion in there. So I think it was very smart of the writer of this book not to put one particular belief in there. The person that you pray to, thoughts become things, and that's exactly what it is. So, like the teachings in the Bible, it's not that far off because it's along the same premises. Basically, in the email, the person wants to know, how I have applied the teachings of The Secret in my life. Did I always get what I want? And can I just give some examples of my success? And they're asking this because they have been applying some of the same techniques, and the accuracy of, what this person wanted and what they received is scary, so to speak. And it is scary once you understand The Secret and how it works. Once you start, talking about things that you want, ask, believe, receive. Like, it is scary when this stuff starts happening, because when you put it out there, you need to believe that it's going to come. So the biggest thing for me out of this book, thoughts become things. And a lot of us might not understand that, but a lot of the things that we think about on a daily basis, they do turn into, things that happen in our lives. We might think of a person, I haven't spoken to this person in so long, and then maybe they'll send you an email, maybe they'll call your phone, or you'll run into them. Like little things like that, thoughts become things. For me, that is the biggest thing, and I've been going through this for quite some time. I would think about things coming up, or maybe I'll think negatively, and unfortunately a lot of negative things come along with it. I've been reshaping my thought process, trying to be more positive, just to bring more positive into my life, and it's been working for me. But let's start with, I think I covered this in one of my older videos too. The very first time I tried The Secret was when I was looking for my first apartment in Philly, and I wrote down everything that I wanted in this apartment. I wrote down how many bedrooms I wanted, a nice bathroom, a nice kitchen, like everything that I wanted, I wrote that down. And I was out on a hunt for, the perfect apartment, and I found an apartment that I liked, and not knowing that the apartment that I actually moved into was everything that I wanted, until I started unpacking my belongings and I found the little list. I had the 2 bedrooms that I wanted. I got the wooden floors that I wanted, because I knew I'm not a big fan of carpet at all. Carpet to me is like way too personal, especially if it's not brand new. I got, a nice sized bathroom. The kitchen was nice. Like I said, a big closet. All that stuff I got. And you guys know the struggle I went through with it later, because everything isn't what it appears to be. But everything that I asked for, I received. So that was one thing that really worked out for me. Another thing was, actually prior to me actually moving, I live at home with my mom, and the block that I lived on, it was, you know, a lot of older folks, so everyone was always at home. It was a one-way street. Everyone was always at home by the time I got home from work. And I tried the part in the book that speaks about where this one guy was able to attract parking spaces. So I said, you know what, I need to try this, because whenever I get home, I could never find a parking spot, and I always have to go like park on the other side of my street just to get parking. And I tried it, and like on my way home I would be driving, and I say, okay, when I get home my parking spot is going to be there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to pull into my parking spot, no problem. And it actually worked for me for, I think it was like 9 or 11 days straight, where I would come home from work and it would be late, like 11, 12 o'clock, and there would be parking on my block. And I was like, oh, I think that was the scariest part for me, because that was the very beginning when I was trying it, and I said, okay, let me try something that somebody else is trying to see if it really works. And that was the scariest part, because for months on end, I would be lucky if I could find a parking spot on my block. But I found a spot 9 or 11 days in a row where it was on my block, really close to like my house, and that was so freaking scary. I think that's the exact point that I got hooked on it, and I started telling everyone that I knew about the book, like, oh my God, The Secret, have you read this book? And kept going on and on about it. So the next thing was actually the apartment, which I just spoke about, and how that fell into place. Since then, the job that I have now and moving to Florida, that to me, that was all part of The Secret. I don't think I told this story, but at that time, I was going through a very tough time where one of my friends, he got shot. It's actually about to be a year now since he got killed. So one of my friends, he got killed, and my biological father, he also passed away. And I was just going through all this turmoil with my landlord and the leaking in my apartments, and my subbies that watch my videos, they would know exactly what I'm talking about, because I shared this with them on my videos, my vlogs. And I was just ready to go. Like the complex that I was living in, the apartment building, the guy wasn't taking care of it. I was having problems in the wintertime where my bill was like $300 because the heat was working, but the heat was going right out the windows because they weren't insulated from the outside. It was just like every problem in the book. Leaks, and I'm not even going to relive that. But I knew that I wanted to move out of that apartment. I knew that I actually wanted to move to Tampa because I got stuck here a couple months prior to that. And I was like, oh my God, like, I'm moving to Miami. I'm moving to Florida. I'm getting out of Philly. I'm so tired of this snow. Like, I was ready to go. So those two things I knew I wanted. I wanted to get out of Tampa. I wanted to get out of Philly. And I wanted to move out of my apartment. So I'm looking for apartments in Philly. Nothing was turning over. Everyone that I was trying to, you know, link up with, they either didn't call back, or I would go see an apartment and it was just like, no words can explain how these people could be renting these apartments. So nothing panned out for me at that time, and I just could not understand why. Like, I had the right area that I wanted to live in, closer to work, because the distance that I was traveling at that time was a bit too much. And I just thought I had everything. I'm like, oh my God, why is this not working? I need this to work. I made my new list of what I want my apartment to look like, and where I needed to move, and how much time it was going to take for me to get to work, and just how much I'm going to pay, everything. It was just not panning out because it wasn't supposed to. But at that time, I didn't know this. So my father, my biological father passed, and I had to go home for the funeral. So while I'm in Barbados, one of my very good friends that actually lives in Tampa, she called me up like, hey, this company that you've been trying to work for forever, they're about to be down here. Like, I have the guy lined up. He wants to interview you, all this other stuff. So I'm like, well, here, I'm in Barbados right now. I got to take care of this little situation, but give him this number and, tell him to call me. We can do the interview over the phone. Since it was, out of state, either way, if I was in Philly or Barbados, it would still be out of state. So he called me while I was in Barbados, but the connection wasn't that great because I was on the Magic Jack. And he said, you know what, just take care of what you're taking care of there. When you come back, we can line up the phone interview. So I did the phone interview, everything. I was so nervous. Everything worked out. It was a series of interviews. They all worked out really, really well. And in one interview in particular that I was very, very scared of, it was the very last interview, and it was with the recruiter and then the district team or something at that time over the phone. And I know how nervous I get when I'm talking to somebody that I cannot see, because I'm hearing your voice but I can't see you, and that kind of nerves me. So I got all my paperwork together, any questions that I needed. I got all that stuff together. I went out to my car. I sat in my car. I had a bottle of water. And on that water, I wrote down on a piece of paper, I wrote confidence water, and I stuck it. I actually had a rubber band, and I rubber banded around my water. So you know how you have like your Voss, your Fiji? I had confidence water because all I knew is that I needed to be confident in this interview. I needed not to freak out. I just needed to, you know, this is what I'm going to do for the company. This is why you need me. Here I am. That's what I needed to do. So before the interview, I gulped this water down and I went in. They called me. We did the interview. It was probably like 30 minutes. I'm sitting in my car with the AC on because it's hot as crap at that point in Philly. And, you know, they told me, okay, well, you know, we're going to get back to you. So 2 weeks went by. I didn't hear anything at all. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, are they going to call back? What's going on? I don't know. So the very morning I said, you know what? I'm just going to make this happen for myself, because I can't go on to, you know, wait on them, even though I have to. Like, I need to put this in motion for myself. So I found a name badge from my old job, Ulta. I found a name badge. I covered that name badge over. I just randomly got like a sticky note, and I put on there the name of the company, and I put new department manager for this company, and I stuck it on there. And that day I actually wore it to work, and I stuck it on the inside of my shirt. So while I'm at work every day, you know, for that entire shift, when I'm bending over doing stuff, like my shirt kind of like tilted out because it was so heavy, and I would look down and I would just see the name tag on the inside of my shirt. Of course I can't have it show at my other job, but I would see it, and it was just a reminder for me, and I would laugh that entire day to myself like, you so silly, girl. I don't believe I'm doing this. But that very day, I was taking my break. I went in the back, got my phone, and I looked at my phone, and the recruiter actually called me. He left me a message telling me that I basically got the job, and he was trying to do a job offer. And it was that very day, the very day that I decided, okay, I'm going to take this into my own hands, made my own name tag, just little things in my mind for me to say, okay, this is official. You know, I got the job. I took that upon myself, and the name tag all day, like putting that out into the universe, brought it back to me. So that very day that I did that, he called me. I was probably like maybe after 5 o'clock. And I got the message. I was so excited. I called him back. It took us playing like took us playing like phone tag for a little while before we were able to get in contact with each other. But I think that was probably like one of my happiest times ever. I was so excited and like, oh my God, like this thing really works. Are you kidding me? Everything that I wanted. I got the job that I wanted. I got how much I wanted to get paid. I was going to move to the city that I wanted to. Just everything was panning out, and it really works for me. Those are just a few of the things that I've planned for myself and put into motion, put into the universe, saying, okay, this is what I want. This is what I want it to be like. This is how it's going to happen. Just everything. Even with the apartment that I was in and the landlord not, taking care of it, we actually had to go to court, and I wrote a little diary entry saying exactly how I wanted it to go down, because it was just a very nasty thing where he wasn't fixing anything, and I wasn't paying him rent because he wasn't fixing anything. And I went through all the proper procedures that I needed to if it came down to something legal, then I was covered. And that's exactly how it played out. He wanted to take me to court and sue me for like close to $5,000. But I had all my paperwork. I wrote in there, the judge was, I actually have the sticky. I found another one. Hold on. I wrote this little sticky back then, and I actually found it a couple days ago. And this sticky note said, I'm stronger than I was last year. I love my life. I won the case. The judge found him to be greedy in the situation I was in. Happy, happy me. If you guys can see this. This is just like a piece of sticky note, and I wrote this to myself. And this was before the case even took place. I just wrote that, you know, a little note saying this is what's going to happen. I need this to happen. I'm going to make it happen for myself. And it actually turned out that very way. Only thing that was different in this case, my case was so strong, I didn't even need to go before a judge. Like, I had all the paperwork I needed. Everything worked out. So I got to keep my rent. He wasn't able to sue me for any of it because he was in the wrong. And that was the end of that. So I hope this video kind of helped you a little bit, seeing the things that I've planned out, the things that I wanted for myself, how I went about getting them. The most important thing you have to remember is that you have to be clear about what you want. If you're not clear about what you want, you're sending out mixed signals, then that's what you're going to get back. You're going to get back things that aren't exactly what you want in life because you're not clear. So the more precise, the more clarity you have on whatever it is you're trying to get, where you're trying to be, the things that you're trying to achieve, how you want it, how much of it you want, then it'll happen. Everything isn't going to happen exactly the way you want it to if you aren't that strong of a believer. It's not always going to work out that way, but you will get a significant amount of what you're looking for. Like one of the apartments that I asked for, I wanted a washer and dryer. I didn't get that, but I got everything else that I wanted out of that dream. So the little things that you might not get, you can't let that deter you. Like, oh, I wanted A, B, C, and D, and I only got A, B, and C. Like, you can't let that deter you. That only tells you, okay, I need to be more specific on what it is that I'm looking for. So I hope this video helped you in some way. I'm thinking about so many other things that I accomplished and got from The Secret, but I'm not going to run them all down to you guys right now. But what I will do, I'm going to start again with my vision board, because I made it, but I never actually started putting things on it. But right now that I'm all settled, I really do need to pick that back up and start putting things on there that I want to achieve, because I need to go higher. I cannot stay stagnant. I don't intend to be in the same place that I am right now 6 months from today. So I need to, start making progress and changes and, putting out there the things that I want. If I want a new car, say I want a new car. What kind of car do you want? What color do you want this car to be? How fast do you want this car to drive? How much gas do you want this car to eat up? None at all. But that's my plan, and I'll try to continue to do these videos because a good portion of my subscribers are interested in The Secret, which is a very good thing. I believe in it firmly, and I will keep doing this. So until next time, you guys, it's Me-Anie. I want you guys to keep rising. Share your stories if you have any. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will try my best to get back to you, and just keep rising. Peace.